So you want to know, is now a good or bad time to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the Denver metro area? Well, in this month's segment of First to Know, I'm going to cover exactly what is happening with pricing, overall inventory, and what you can expect with housing based off local trends that do help us predict what's going to happen 2023. Thanks for sticking around. Let's jump right in to pricing and what we've been seeing happen with home values over the last 12 months. As you can see, and remember, throughout today's graph, you're following the blue line being 2022. And as we close out, it's going to now be very interesting to start looking at realistic data, because if you remember, 2022 and 2021 and 2020 were very abnormalized years for real estate. 2014 upward to 19, you'll hear me talk about today, were very traditional, and we should have seen some type of correction, but we saw a progression for a couple more years in the housing market. So then the question to everybody is, well, then what's going to happen now? Because we do remember history of what happened in the past. Now remember, though, the past was a mortgage crisis that led to a housing crisis. Right now, we're going through a correction, and this type of data helps you better understand that, because it's what's needed based off of traditional 7 to 10 year real estate life cycles. So as you see from the average close price, the $704,000 is down 3% from where we were just in November. So yes, we gave back almost $22,000 worth of value, or the average close price, which is usually better to the median close price, which you can see we gave back $10,000. The median close price is more realistic, but as you can see, we're still up 1% over last year. But look how much more we are up from 2020 as you close out the year. And as you can see from every single year before that, what happens with home values from January moving forward is you start to see the median close price rise. So the next couple months, be on the outlook to just see this specific slide. And my prediction is that home values will continue to rise, and I'll share why, because a lot of it's rooted in values and the trajectory for mortgage rates. Now, condos, as you can see, they were actually up 6.4% from last year, or 5.3% on the median close price, and we only gave back 1.2%, meaning $5,000 on the median close price of condos. Now we know the home values and the rise of condos was not the same as the single family market in the residential. Now, as you start looking at supply, though, this is a key area to identify the goal we had over the last 10 years, which was we needed more inventory. Inventory comes in, how much do we need based off demand? And the good sign is right now we're seeing a little less demand, which would be great if we could see some supply. But as you can see, the active listings, meaning the listings that are actively on the market, are 30% less than where we were in November. So 30% less homes actively sitting on the market does not lead to more supply. And then compound that with here at new listings, you can see that 33% people listed, or new listings came to the market this time this year than last year. Now we know that because the market is not as saturated with people feeling like they should enter real estate. A lot of people like yourself might be waiting. And our goal through providing data is to give you understanding of the news, not necessarily good or bad, so that way you can figure out your interest levels. How does it relate to you? And as always, reach out, and I'm happy to learn more and share my thoughts. So as you start looking at last month, though, so November to December, down 34% new listings come in the market. Now that part, though, just so you know, is traditional. It's seasonality. December is usually the slowest month of new listings come in the market, after we start to see a slower month in November and a slower month in January. But then what we see, as you can see consistently, is a rise of new listings come in the market. But remember, a lot of that is going to be based off of where we are in the current demand. And as you can see here, the months supply of listing dropped another 25% month over month. So if you remember in October, it went from 1.8 months down to 1.6 in November. And then December, you could see leading into January, we're down to 1.2. That's an extremely low amount of inventory or available homes for the demand that is out there. And remember, there is less demand, but only about 1/3. As you start looking at months supply of inventory, remember 4 months is the start of a seller's market, 6 months neutral, 8 months a buyer's market. And we were sitting around 8 to 10 months during the last housing crisis. So when you think about a tenfold difference of only 1.2 months of inventory, this is why I'm sharing. I believe home values are about to go back on the rise. Because as we start to see rates decrease whenever they do, that will bring, as we've already seen in like September and different months throughout this year, November, when rates dipped, we saw a demand of buyers. And those available listings came off the market. And with no new listings coming on the market, you start to see this decrease of supply or available listings. So 1.6 down to 1.2. Remember, you can see, take any single year, 2019, 20, 21, 22, we always see a decrease of inventory as we start to close the year. But the interesting part will be, where will we be beginning? Will it continue to decrease? And that's really based off you. Are people going to bring their home to the market in February, March, April like it was normal, or we'll start to see a slide into May, June, July, August, most likely depending on what happens with mortgage rates. However, for a lot of people, this will be a great period if you want normalized real estate transactions versus, again, if no more inventory and then high demand, we might see another peak of mania, at least in our beautiful and well-rounded state that many people are still coming to. And the job market is very strong. So to close out the first to know for the first of the year, 42 average days in the MLS. Obviously, you know, when you're thinking about selling a property, as long as you're getting showings, it just helps us better understand the home is on the market. December on average took 42 days to get them contracted. This is your time period where marketing matters, and so does understanding the market in your conversations with whoever's listing your property, so you make good decisions, which is not what a lot of the reason why we saw a decrease in some month-by-month home values in the middle of the year was because when June, July, and August occurred and there was not a lot of people in the market, many people didn't know what to do and they dramatically dropped their price. We're past that now. There should be no dramatic price drops, but you got to leave out the drama. Cannot create a price that doesn't exist in the market. And now the market is pretty predictable, depending on what continues to happen over the next couple months with mortgage rates. As you can see, the close price to list price, 98.4%. That remained exactly the same, which is a good sign. That means our price decreases, or the percentage of them needed to get a home under contract, are starting to decrease, just like we've seen across the nation. And hopefully we'll start to see a neutral market where just what you list the home for is exactly what you sell. But right now, you can average about 1.6% less than whatever that list price is, which is a good worst case scenario if you're really looking at your equity and how much of it you're going to use for the next stages or steps in your real estate practice. So from me to you, as always, thank you for joining me on the First to Know. There's a lot going on and a lot that's important to know. We'll keep bringing it to you. Remember, we're going to bring weekly market updates now. So then that way, for many of you trying to time it, you don't wait too long. And more importantly, if you can time it right, there are opportunities to be made. But the best part is it's not about timing the market. It's about spending time learning about the market, because then you'll know when's the right time for you to buy, sell, or invest.